The Objective News Network, Hunter Biden, his plea deal just went out of the window. Last Wednesday, Judge Mary Ellen Noreika deferred her decision on the plea deal for the son of President Joe Biden, Hunter, saying, "You are telling me to rubber stamp the agreement." Biden's attorneys and Justice Department lawyers were then given 14 days to convince the judge that the plea deal is somehow legitimate, fair, and in the interests of justice. The plea deal would have seen the president's son enter guilty pleas to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and enter a diversion program in lieu of pleading guilty to a felony gun possession count. Hunter Biden's plea deal with federal prosecutors, which fell apart during his first court appearance in Delaware last Wednesday, would have granted him broad immunity, protecting him from prosecution over a wide range of alleged and potential federal crimes that he may have committed. In court, prosecutors admitted to the judge that there were still other ongoing investigations relating to Hunter Biden's possible illegal conduct. Of course, if Hunter Biden gets the plea deal, it could possibly shield him from future revelations of the criminal activities now being investigated to determine whether President Biden should be impeached or not. Under the legal tenet of double jeopardy, or in other words, being tried for the same crime twice, the plea deal might just get in the way of prosecuting Hunter for other crimes he may have committed and in impeaching or prosecuting President Biden himself. Did federal prosecutors and the Justice Department know this? Well, of course they did. It's always very interesting to me how the government lawyer bureaucrats that run the Justice Department and so many of our other government institutions come up with the decisions like the Hunter Biden plea deal. It's all about who you are and not what you've done. If you happen to be a nobody like me, they'll slam you in jail and throw away the key. But if you are a member of the American elite, say the president's son, it's a whole different deal. So much for Lady Justice wearing her blindfold anymore. It's not true, and it's just now patently obvious to everyone that there are 2 distinct rules of law in America. So, the lawyer bureaucrats don't give a hoot about the idea of swift and commensurate punishment to create deterrence, or punishment being equated against the actual harm that's been done. Deterrence is completely out the window for the political elite in America. Or is it some other combination of tangible or intangible factors like avoiding embarrassment, the politics of containment, sometimes and more often than not extending to the point of an intentional cover-up? Political weaponization of the justice system? Class disparity? Well, Lady Justice is supposed to be wearing a blindfold, not peeking out to see who she is meting justice out to determine what should be done and who to do it to. It is supposed to be the law and what you have done, not who you are. Judges were never intended to consider the political consequences of their decisions as a factor in determining whether someone has broken the law or not. Judges are not supposed to be politicians who make law from the bench. If I were to ask any of you out there if you believe that Hunter Biden is being treated just the same as someone else, who is not the president's son or some other rich kid, in this case, someone who already has the best lawyers, who was admittedly on drugs and admittedly caught with an illegal firearm, and who we know avoided paying taxes. Would you say yes to a plea deal? No, of course you wouldn't. It's only common sense. If Hunter Biden was not the president's son, was caught using illegal drugs, found to be in possession of an illegal firearm, avoided paying his taxes, and was still under investigation for other major crimes like influence peddling, money laundering, and extorting others, using the name of his father, the U.S. president, as a sledgehammer to extort money, do you really believe he wouldn't already be in prison? Of course he would. The law is supposed to be the law, meted out equally, regardless of whether you have a silver spoon in your mouth or you eat oatmeal for breakfast in the morning like I sometimes do. What's happening right now with the handling of the Hunter Biden scandal is an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to our country. It's positive proof of a two-tiered rule of law in America and demonstrates for the entire world to see the wholesale corruption of our judicial system and how the desire for containing the truth from the people has become a pervasive fact of life in our society. A real corrupt mess, if you ask me. To show you how ridiculous things have become, the judge, Mary Ellen Noriega, actually apologized to Hunter Biden in her courtroom for questioning how government lawyers ever came up with the plea deal in the first place. Judge Noriega should never have apologized to Hunter Biden. Hunter knew what he was doing, and he did it knowing full well it was wrong. After all, as part of the plea deal, he was willing to admit to a felony and tax evasion to avoid jail time. He knew all along about his shady overseas business dealings involving other members of the Biden family, including his father. He knows other members of his family were involved, and he knows that they're all under investigation for influence peddling and other crimes like laundering illicit money. So I'm really wondering what's going on with Hunter, the Department of Justice lawyers, including Merrick Garland himself, and all of the judges involved in the Hunter Biden case. Is the circus fanfare possibly the result of the fact that it's nothing but the legal profession that is running our country these days? After all, it's lawyers that write, interpret, enforce, and become the judges that run the system of justice and administer the two sets of law we now have in America, one for the elite and quite another set of laws for the rest of us. It is what it is for July 30th, 2023. This is John Hnatio reporting for the Objective News Network. We want to thank you for watching. Please tell your friends and colleagues about us. We hope to see you the next time.